My name is Samantha Reynolds, and I'm the Director of Sales Operations. I've worked at Helpside for 19 years, so going into my 20th year, just hit my 19th anniversary. So currently I oversee the sales operations and onboarding teams. So what that looks like is supporting the sales team through quoting and proposals, as well as demoing our software for new clients, new prospects, as well as the onboarding team who's responsible for taking a client from sales to our HR team. Yeah, so on the onboarding side, what it looks like is client decides that they want to partner with Helpside, and they'll be introduced to their onboarding specialist at a kickoff call. And that's really where we nail down the important things for the client. So what things they really want to get out of their relationship with Helpside and all of those little details. And then we nail down the timeline of what it looks like to go through onboarding. Then the onboarding team helps the client with gathering any necessary information that we may need to get them onboarded, helps employees with their onboarding process through our Helpside Tools platform, as well as introduces our benefits options to employees and allows them to enroll in those as well through Helpside Tools. So we really take it all the way from sales to that first payroll run. And then once that happens, they're handed off to a payroll specialist and an HR business partner that's assigned specifically to their account so they can get to know them and their employees really well and really provide the best service that they can. Yeah, so Helpside really is software plus service is really how we see ourselves. So our big differentiator is our people, and our clients will say that the people at Helpside are what make the biggest difference. So we don't just leave you with a piece of software that you have to learn on your own. We have people all the way along the way that will help you. But the software also allows you to do things 24/7, 365. So even if you don't have a person by your side, you can use the software. And then if you need help, we're always here as well. Yeah, the onboarding team is a newer team at Helpside. So previously, there wasn't that handoff that we had in the past, or there previously wasn't as smooth of a handoff. In the last 5 years, we've really built up the onboarding team because we know how important it is for clients to get that service from the very beginning. We've always been dedicated to providing great service, but that transition can be difficult for businesses. So we want to make sure that they do get that service from the very start. And one of the things that's really different about Helpside is that you're going to get a person every time you call, email, or send a live chat on our website. There's no bots, there's no phone trees. You call the number, you're going to get a person who can help you every single time. And that's not just for clients, that's for their employees as well. So as a client, you're not answering those employee questions about how to get a pay stub or fill out a verification of employment. You can just have them call Helpside and know they'll be taken care of every time. It is a major difference. I mean, if you're working with one of our competitors, you're often going to end up in a queue, a service queue, and in 3 to 5 business days, you'll get an email response back from somebody who doesn't even know who you are. That's not Helpside. At Helpside, your payroll specialist and your HR business partner really get to know you and your company and your employees, and they really want to understand how they can make the most of that relationship with you. So it really matters to them. It's not just another client. It is somebody that they really get to know and build a partnership with. Yeah, so the onboarding experience came about simply because we heard from our clients, right? We really take the feedback of our clients seriously. That's often where we're making improvements in our software. That's why we're making improvements in our services. It's because we're hearing what our clients are asking for. And this is something our clients were asking for, is a smoother transition between sales and service. They loved the service once they got on board, but this is a lot of change for people. They're not only making changes to their benefits, but oftentimes they're making changes to a lot of internal processes for payroll, for HR, employee onboarding, all of those sorts of things. So it's a lot of change at one time. So we really can help walk them through what that change looks like and make it easier to manage. I started working at Helpside before I really knew what I wanted. So I didn't join Helpside because I knew who Helpside was, but I've stayed at Helpside because of who they are. So what I really love about my job at Helpside is we truly see the impact of our services on small businesses and their employees. Payroll and benefits are a big deal to people. This isn't just a transactional relationship. This is people's lives. We get to know these people, and they have babies, and they call us and add them to their health plan, and they get promoted and we are involved in that, right? These are big moments in people's lives and Helpside is involved in it. It's not just a transaction. It really is a relationship that we build with our clients. So that's what really makes a difference for me. I've seen personally the impact on small businesses. One of the stories I like to tell is many years ago, I was working with a client and she was talking about how difficult it was for her to process payroll because it took her away from her kids. Her husband started the business. She was responsible for payroll. She didn't want to be doing payroll. That's not what she wanted to be doing. She wanted to be home with her kids. And after coming on with Helpside, she said, this was life-changing. This changed my relationship with my kids, with my husband. It was life-changing for her. It was not just about payroll. It was about a relationship that she built with Helpside and the way that it really impacted her livelihood. But Helpside's been through a number of transitions while I've been here. We were A+ benefits when I started at Helpside, rebranded to Helpside. We've seen some changes in leadership and things like that over the years, but there's been a lot of consistency as well. Many of our senior leaders have been here for many years and they're great role models to me in my career. And another one of the reasons why I want to stay at Helpside is I have great role models around me in the leadership team. One of the other things that's made me stay is the values of Helpside. So integrity is a core value of Helpside. And I've seen that not just as a word on a piece of paper. It is what the executives at Helpside really believe in. And I've seen the way that they've made decisions for the organization and they take into account all stakeholders. So it's not only what's the best thing for the company, but they're going to look at everyone involved and try to make some balanced decisions. I've seen them do it. And so I respect the way that they do their business for sure. Yeah, integrity it's interesting. I see that as a mission statement for a lot of companies, but Helpside really lives and breathes integrity. Everyone here really takes accountability for mistakes, will step up and try to do what's right, and not just what's in the best interest of making money for the organization. It really is what's in the best interest of the community and the people that we impact every day. Small businesses are completely underserved when it comes to resources. And so one of the things I've learned working at Helpside is how difficult it is to get a small business off the ground. There isn't a textbook that teaches you how to do this. And so being able to tap into experts and resources that you may not have elsewhere is amazing. I've always said, if I were to start a small business, which I don't think I would do because I've seen how difficult it is and I've seen so many brilliant people do it. But if I did, the first thing I would do is outsource my payroll, benefits, and HR to somebody with like a PEO. Those are simply things that business leaders don't need to be worrying about. And oftentimes what we see is there are a lot of people starting companies because they were a plumber and they want to start a plumbing company and have their own business, but they're a great plumber. They're not necessarily great at benefits or HR or payroll. So partnering with a company like Helpside allows them to be a really great plumber and still take care of their employees in a really great way. So those types of things really make a difference. And you can see the impact that you make on a small business a lot more than you can on a large organization. Time savings, the money savings, all those sorts of things are so much more impactful for a small business owner than it is for somebody at a 500-person organization. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a big change. So it's a big decision to make. It impacts people's benefits. It impacts their paychecks, all those sorts of things. And most of the business owners we work with, they're coming to Helpside because they want to take care of their employees. So that really matters to them. The relationship with their employees really matters to them. So sometimes they'll come in a little bit hesitant because they're worried about how that will be perceived by their employees. And so oftentimes we do have to reassure them that we're going to take as good care of their employees as they take care of their employees. That's really important to them. And that's one of the reasons why our white glove service is really important, especially during onboarding, because it is a time of transition and unease, and it may make employees feel a little bit uncomfortable. So our onboarding team is there to help make them feel as comfortable as possible about the whole process and that transition in general, change is hard. So we really want to be there. And oftentimes, by the time they're running their first payroll, my onboarding team will say they become good friends because they're talking regularly over the 3 or 4 weeks that they're going through onboarding. And so they'll ask, questions about how they're doing and how things are going. And they really develop a really good relationship with them over that time period. So that's one of the things the onboarding team really likes about their jobs, is being able to build those quick relationships and prove to the business leaders that they made a good decision when they came to Helpside. We had a small tech company here locally that came to us, and they had an HR need right out of the gate. And so the first thing we did before we even started onboarding was get our director of HR on the phone with them and make sure that their immediate HR need was taken care of. And then we focused on getting them on board with payroll and benefits. So oftentimes we tailor that onboarding to really fit what the client needs. If you have an immediate need for safety or HR, we're going to go there first. We'll help put out the fires first, and then we're going to make it comfortable for you to move forward. So that's really what we focus on, is trying to find what is most important to the organization and making sure that we're taking care of that first. And then we'll go into all of the other things that we can do as well to really help a company streamline their processes, especially on the payroll, benefits, and HR side. But we'll find that hot button first. We'll take care of that first. We don't want that to be left out. A lot of times people come to us because they do have a fire, right? And they need assistance immediately. So whether that is something like a sexual harassment situation or a difficult termination situation, or maybe they got a wage claim in the mail and they're not really sure how to reply to that. All of those sorts of things are things our HR team takes on every single day, and they can help small businesses navigate that scary environment that comes with those unexpected HR issues. So those are probably the things that come up most common. So a lot of people don't know what they don't know, right? So when it comes to HR specifically, there are so many different employment laws. And if you have employees in multiple states, you're just talking about a minefield that you don't even want to step into. A lot of times you don't even know that you're doing something wrong until you get hit with a wrongful termination claim or a wage claim or some other fine or penalty. Unfortunately, ignorance is not a good defense in these cases. So really, it is important to partner with people who do have experience, especially regional experience, that can really help you make sure that you are following all of the local laws that apply to your organization. Just because it's the way that you've always done something doesn't mean it's actually the legal way to do it or the least risky way to do it. Oftentimes there's best practices that can really keep you in compliance and make sure that there's less liability for your organization. And oftentimes you're not thinking about it because you've got so much else on your plate. Until something that smacks you in the face because it's some sort of legal issue, then you're not even thinking about HR. So we love to come in before those issues arise and help create an environment where you're less likely to have something like that happen to you. But we often begin with clients because they do have something come up and they need that immediate help with HR, and we're able to come in and do that for them. There's no underwriting for HR. We're not scanning to see if you've had previous issues or things like that. We really want to come in and help you make your workplace the best place possible. So you don't have to be afraid of coming to Helpside when you have current issues. We'd love to help you solve those and set your company up to prevent them in the future. So with small businesses, you only have a few employees that you're working with, and they really do become very important to your organization, and each one is incredibly valuable. Helpside feels that way about our internal employees as well, and so we like to help our clients make their workplaces the best place they can possibly be so they can attract the best employees and keep them long term. When you're under 20 employees, each employee matters, and losing an employee can be extremely detrimental to your organization. So it's important to keep those good employees long-term. So Helpside really works with our clients to make sure they're making great workplaces to keep great employees. Helpside's a small business too, right? So we've gone through all of the things that our clients deal with as well. So oftentimes when we're providing advice, it's things that we've dealt with too, and ways that we have found best practices that we use internally in our own organization. We truly do provide the same benefits, the same HR solutions to our internal teams that we do to our clients as well. So sometimes when small businesses start, they only have a couple of employees and they're friends. And so they don't think about the fact that they might need any level of HR support. What's going to happen when, 3 friends get together and join a company? But then you start growing and hiring, and there's people outside of your friend and family group that are now employed by you. And now you really do need to think about those things because they do become a big liability for your company. So oftentimes small businesses start with just a handful of friends working for them. They're not considering proper HR and payroll practices. They're really just trying to get their business off the ground. But once they have more people involved, it really is important to make sure that they're following all of the legal processes that need to be followed for employees. Small businesses employ the majority of people in America. I don't remember the numbers. SBA has them on their website, but most people work for small businesses, not for large corporations. So small businesses really are what make the country run. They're what's paying people so that they can buy food for their families and take care of their kids and put a roof over their heads. It's also what is taking care of them from a healthcare standpoint. So in many cases, people rely on their employer to provide good benefits to take care of their families. And most employers take that responsibility very seriously. So they're always on the lookout for what the best possible solution is. And that's one of the ways that I've seen Helpside make a really big impact in the small business market, especially in this region, is to be able to offer health plans that are different than what's available anywhere else and provide choices to employees. So one of the biggest things that makes Helpside different is each employee has a choice of the benefits that they can participate in. It's not just one health plan and one dental plan. There's a variety of options that each employee gets to choose from. So that means that your C-level executive that's in his 50s and 60s doesn't have to choose the same plan as a 20-year-old employee that's just starting out in the workforce. Those two people have very different healthcare needs. It's really difficult for a small business to offer a plan that meets the needs of all of their employees. There's only one or two choices. So it's really important to be able to find the best solution for your employees, especially in the space that we're in now, where so many people rely on their employer to help make those decisions for them when it comes to healthcare. It's incredibly important for the small businesses to take that into consideration. Well, one of the great things about partnering with Helpside is you don't have to, it's not one size fits all. So you can create a custom service package that meets the needs of you and your employees. So if you don't want to offer a health plan, that's totally fine. You don't have to offer a health plan. We can still offer a wide variety of ancillary benefits that actually don't cost you anything extra to participate in. So things like dental, vision, 401k, accident, hospital indemnity, all of those sorts of things we can offer to your employees, and you don't have to pay anything extra. You just get that as being a partner with Helpside. So that's one of the great ways that people can ease into offering benefits to their employees is maybe they're not ready to offer a health plan yet, but they really want to have some sort of benefits to take care of their employees. They can join with Helpside, and then they can get some ancillary benefits for their employees and then make a decision later down the road if they want to start on a health plan. It's incredibly common. It's the 3 and 4 and 5 person companies are competing with the 500 person companies for the same exact talent. So you have to have something that helps you stand out. And oftentimes employees come to work for a small business because they don't want to be in that corporate rat race, but they still need to take care of their families. And so being able to offer some benefits to employees, even if you're not offering a health plan, is a great perk and a great way to get started as a startup company, to be able to offer some benefits until you're ready to offer the health plan. Then when you're ready, it's really easy because you're already working with Helpside. We'll get you a quote, we'll get you set up, get all your employees enrolled, and help them make the best choices for their families. One of the things that I've heard many times in my career at Helpside is, I wish we did this sooner. So oftentimes the fear of making a change prevents people from moving over to a PEO like Helpside, especially if it's a new idea. It might take some warming up to before they decide to make a decision to move to Helpside. So I would say the most common thing I hear is, I wish I did it sooner. The other thing that we hear a lot is, I didn't know you did that. So Helpside has a wide variety of services. So you may come to us for payroll and benefits, but then realize later that the support of our HR team is really incredibly valuable, or that our safety director helped you prevent an injury that could have cost your company hundreds of thousands of dollars. So oftentimes people come to us for one of our services and then realize the value that they get with partnering with somebody that has such a wide variety of services in one vendor. So people most often hear about outsourcing HR services or any other service from people who are doing it. So it's a lot of word of mouth. One of the most common ways that we get new business is from people talking about the benefits that they've seen working with Helpside. So it really does take often a trusted person to let them know about it, because sometimes there's a business owner that's been in business for 50 or 60 years and they've never heard of a PEO. So it can seem so foreign to them. The concept just doesn't even resonate. They don't know anybody that's used one before. But oftentimes if they can talk to a current client or talk to somebody who's used our services, it really gives them a good picture of what it could be like to work with a company like Helpside. So I think sometimes it does take some getting used to, especially because it can be a new and novel concept. But when you hear all of the stories of the clients that we've worked with and the differences we've made in their organizations, it's hard to deny the power of a company like Helpside. Yeah, one of the most common objections that we hear from clients before they make the decision to move to Helpside is that they thought it was going to be too expensive. A lot of times, because we have white glove service, because we have great technology, there's a perception that our services are going to be incredibly expensive and out of reach for even small companies. And that's simply not the case. We've designed our services to really tailor to the small business market. And many businesses find that they are saving with Helpside and it's not even a cost to their bottom line. So that's one of the biggest things we hear. One of the other things we hear from clients is that they're afraid that they're going to lose some control in their business. That's also not the case. So Helpside truly is a partner in the organization. They won't tell you how to run your business. They're really going to support you and provide you with information and best practices and things that we've seen work well for other companies in your industry. But you are still in control of your business. It's still your business, your employees, all of those things. So that's one of the things that we hear often as well. So sometimes we'll work with a company who has an HR person already internally. That's incredibly common. And we love working with those people because they speak our language. So we love working with internal HR people. We are not designed to replace an internal HR person. In fact, Helpside services work best if we have a great internal champion, whether that's the business owner or an admin or an HR person. If there's somebody inside that can really develop that personal relationship with the HR business partner and the payroll specialist at Helpside, that really helps get the most out of your services. So we love having an internal champion. We love supporting HR people that are internal. And really, we've helped many HR people grow their career. They've learned from our HR team and been able to advance in their company because of the support that they've had from Helpside. Yeah, well, HR can feel transactional and it can feel like paperwork and all those sorts of things. But from a strategic level, HR is incredibly valuable to the organization. But often in a small company, if you do have an HR person, they don't have time to think about HR strategy. So that's what we do, is we really free them up to do those strategic pieces of HR that make a positive impact on the bottom line of the organization instead of worrying about an employee's question about their benefits offerings. We talked a little bit already about how Helpside's internal processes sometimes are reflected on our clients. Helpside has a flexible work environment. We have many remote employees, and we have a lot of experience working with remote employees. So if you're a small business that's looking to recruit and you're thinking about dipping your toe and maybe recruiting in the state outside of your home state, Helpside can be a great resource for that. And we've also worked with companies in all sizes and all industries in creating a flexible work environment. That doesn't always mean work from home or remote work. Sometimes it means an employee being able to call home at 3 p.m. and make sure their kids made it off the bus okay. That's a flexible work environment, an incredible accommodation that's easy for a business to provide, but we can provide them with the guidance and resources to make sure that those things happen. So that's one way that we're really helping empower companies to enter into the new world of work. Additionally, with our benefits offerings, for example, we have an employee assistance program that gives employees access to counseling if they need it. We've helped with situations related to bereavement leave and things like that. Again, sometimes small businesses don't think of these things because they haven't had it come up before. And then it comes up and they're not exactly sure how to tackle it. So Helpside can be there as a resource anytime a sticky HR situation comes up. You just reach out to your HR business partner. They're going to provide you with good advice to make sure that you make the best decisions for your organization. Yeah, so with a workforce that might be multi-generational, there might be different expectations for different types of benefits. And if you haven't hired somebody recently, you may not even know what to expect out of that. So things like pet insurance or maternity or paternity leave expectations or things like that that are really evolving in the workplace Helpside can provide you with advice and information about what we've seen work at other organizations. Well, we could talk about technology again. We probably haven't done that enough. So having great HR technology really empowers your employees as well to take care of the things that are important to them. So a lot of small businesses don't have any way for their employees to get their own pay stubs or to make changes to their benefits offerings or things like earned wage access, which is immediate access to your pay. Those types of flexible pieces of an HRIS system can make a small business feel a lot more approachable to employees of all generations. I've loved working at Helpside. The people here are the reason that I stay. There's an incredible leadership team here at Helpside that are great role models for me in my career. It's the reason I've stayed for as long as I have. And our clients really feel that as well. The employees that work at Helpside want to be here, and they really believe in the mission of helping small businesses succeed, and they want to be a part of that mission.